There are many different important animals in the religions of the world. Many cultures share similar important animals, such as the snake, but sometimes see them in different ways. Two animals seen in several religions, largely due to their early entrance in civilized human life, are the cow and the lamb. These two creatures are given special names due to their high stance in the religions of Hinduism and Christianity. In Hinduism, there is no animal more important and revered as the holy cow. Just as important to the cow to Hindus is the Lamb of God to Christianity. The uses, stories, and importance of animals in religion and human history are vaster than many are aware of. While most Hindus continue to hold the holy cow in high regard and still consider it as holy and sacred animal, the Lamb of God continues to be one of the most noted literal and figurative animals, even being used in literature today. Both religions agree that the connection between humans and these animals is stronger than that of one showing ownership over the other. Ecclesiastes 3:19 states, "For that which befalleth the songs of men befalleth beasts. As one dieth, so dieth the other, yet they have all one breath, so that a man hath no preeminence over a beast." And Mahatma Gandhi concurs when he speaks for Hinduism beliefs. "I want to realize identity with all life, even with such things as crawl upon earth." In viewing both the backgrounds of Hinduism and Christianity, and the symbolism behind the cow and the lamb, the meanings of the holy cow and the Lamb of God are much better understood, even in the way they are viewed in today's Hindu and Christian cultures. Hinduism, as one of the oldest civilized religions, started its history in the Indus Valley. Its ancient beginnings are seen in the Veda, which holds the first stories of Hindu culture and civilization. Hindu culture is very tied to its geographical location in India. Although Hinduism is now practiced by people throughout the world, the physical features of the country are directly associated with the gods and goddesses of Hinduism, the religious practices, and the eschatological expectation of the Hindus. The rivers of India are very important for both biological and spiritual reasons, many of which are worshipped upon for spiritual benefits. There is no central god or deity that is worshipped in the Hindu culture. Hindus recognize and worship many deities, but even more confusing to Western religions is how each god can have several avatars and many different names. Some Hindus worship certain gods more than others. There are many different regional, sectarian, and devotional cults focusing on the worship of specific deities such as Vishnu or Shiva and other movements. These different sects have many different stories of their gods, and while the Jewish and Christian creation story centers around God's love and trust of man and the trials he puts him through, as will be seen later, Hindus prescribe to many different creation myths that involve their gods. One of the better-known creation myths in Hindu culture is the story of Vishnu and Brahma. According to the Encyclopedia of Hinduism, Vishnu, the Lord of the universe, whose essence is inscrutable, assumed a perceptible form and abided in it in the form of Brahma. Its shell, vast as the mountain Meru, was composed of the mountains, and the interior was filled with the waters of the oceans. In that egg were the continents and the seas and the mountains, the planets and the divisions of the universe, the gods, the demons, and humankind. Assuming the role of creator, Brahma engages in creating the world as we know it, and Vishnu is set to preserve the world. Vishnu, assuming his role as Rudra, will also swallow the world as an end to mankind. Part of the lifestyle of many religions in India, including Hinduism, as seen through its gods, such as Krishna, is ahimsa, or non-harming. Hindus see this lifestyle as part of their rebirth cycle that will allow them to get out of this almost never-ending cycle of life. The Christian religion comes from Judaism. Many religions have risen out of mankind's early years, but according to Jewish tradition, a small group of people, the Israelites, were the chosen people of God because they were more pure and responded to him. Due to the Jewish people's devotion to God, he was able to provide salvation for man and his sons. The Christian religion, a very young religion in terms of the existence of mankind and even in its comparison with Hinduism, then adopted these principles, traditions, and thoughts as part of their own. Christianity was not always one of the most popular religions as it is seen today, because when Christ was born, Christianity, was the home of considerably less than half of civilized mankind. Kenneth Scott LaTourette sums up the Christian story of God very well in his essay, A History of Christianity, when he writes, "Christians have seen in this story the fashion in which God works. They have believed that always and everywhere God has been seeking man and has been confronting man with himself and with the standard which he has set for man. Yet man, so they have held, persistently rebels against God and becomes corrupt. God, of his mercy and love, has wrought for man's redemption. This he has not done in the way which man would have predicted. Even those whom men have accounted wise have been so blinded by sin, especially by pride and self-confidence, that they could not clearly see or hear God. For reasons known only to himself, so Christians have maintained, God chose as his channel for man's salvation a small, insignificant minority among the people of Israel, themselves of slight consequence in physical might. As the culmination of his revelation of himself and his redemption of man, he sent his Son, who, the heir of his humble minority, and building on the foundations laid by them, became the center of the Christian faith. God, as in many monotheist religions, is seen as the almighty and supreme being of the culture. In the Christian religion, followers believe in God because of his unrelenting love for man. God respects man by giving him the free will to make his own decisions and to make mistakes. But for Christians, their devotion to God comes from the knowledge of his unconditional love, no matter the mistakes they make. The ability to love unconditionally makes man look to God as an example of how to live life, and ideally creates a goal for man, to be like and therefore be with God. Man's devotion to God made him able to provide salvation for man and his sins. Hinduism and Christianity both present many different symbols in their stories in the Vedas and the Bible, respectively. Symbolism of animals is critical in determining their importance in daily life, literature, and religion. Cows and lambs are two of the most used symbols for indicating someone who is innocent and selfless. They both signify purity, meekness, and sacrifice. Cows, for example, are one of the oldest animals in history, as we have read about, and one of the very first to be domesticated. Their nature allows them to be domesticated easily and enables people, like the Hindus, to find them in divine light. Cows are creatures that are very docile in nature. They convey a sense of harmony and peace in their lives. Cows represent many different attributes that Hindus find admirable and divine. For instance, cows symbolize patience, nourishment, abundance, fertility, calming, and beginnings. Symbolism that can be related to Hindu life can even be seen in dreams. To have a dream about a cow may indicate that there is harmony in your home. The home and family are often central figures in Hinduism life. One of the greatest gifts one can give a Hindu and his family, especially in the form of dowry, is a cow. Cows may even symbolize the Hindu people. Hinduism emphasizes individual enrichment, but also the importance of family and dependence on social structure. Cows are herd animals. While each cow is a separate entity, she interacts with and it depends on the group for survival, much like Hindus in their lifestyles. Lambs, like cows, are another of the oldest animals to be domesticated due to their natural inclination to travel in groups, or flocks. The most basic symbolism of a lamb, one that is taught to even children, is innocence and someone who is untouched to the very core of their being. The lamb represents gentleness of character and patience under great suffering. The holy cow is considered sacred to the Hindu culture. Cows, as seen through their symbolism, are a very pure and sacrificial animal. A cow lives its life without complaint, even when they endure heat, humidity, cold, whatever the universe throws their way. No matter what their surrounding, they continue to live peacefully and serenely. This attribute coincides with their natural life of ahimsa. Although, as far as we can know, a cow does not consciously think about living a life of not harming other living creatures, it does. The cow takes nothing from the earth but the grass it eats. Even that, its food, is not harmed because it is not pulled from the roots, but only eaten from the top. Hindus see the cow as an example of how to live their lives by not harming the souls they touch on this planet. Due to their behaviors, cows are worshipped. To kill a cow or even harm one is considered taboo and a horrific act, as they represent the purest of souls in Hinduism. Cows are even allowed to travel wherever they please, including on busy streets, without interference from humans, which is considered by some a lower rebirth. Cows are so important in Hinduism that the god Krishna considers them with high regard and is called the cowherder. Images of Krishna often show him with remarkably happy cows. The lamb's most famous symbol is that of the Lamb of God, or Jesus Christ.